Hello, welcome to Central Florida Salute YouTube. I am your host, Bob Peters, once again at Eagles Area 4273. I have a gentleman with me. I actually just met this gentleman. He was recommended by Mr. Lou Butler.
Yes.
You know Lou very well. I guess he's your neighbor,
He's
right?
my neighbor, yes.
Yeah, he was a staff sergeant, United States Army, and his name is James Green, Jr.
Yes.
Do I call you James or Jim?
Jim.
Jim. Jim, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where were you born? And take me to a tour and how you wound up in the Army and everything.
I was born December 17th, 1953 in Allegan, Michigan. My parents are James and Helen Green. I have one brother, 4 sisters. We had one bathroom in our house.
You had a bathroom in the house?
In the house.
I didn't have one in the house.
Well, you're old.
Oh, yeah.
But,
that's the end of this show.
we went through school and was doing good. And I got in my sophomore year in high school. And it seemed like every time I turned around, somebody was saying, you need to go do this. You need to go do this. And I said, I don't want to do that. And they said, well, you have to do that.
You sure were you married at the time?
No. I was 17.
That sounds like a wife.
Yeah, I was 17 in high school. And I said, no, I'm not going to do it. So spring break, I went to Detroit and I joined the Army.
At 17?
At 17 and a half, because I went in June.
So your parents signed?
Yes, my mother was terribly mad, and I said, this is what I'm going to do, either now or the day after I turn 18. And everybody said, why? And I said, I got tired of people telling me what to do. And so where did I go? Everybody told me what to do. I had one plus factor. I got paid.
Yeah, I mean, I think you must have learned that in the Army they're going to tell you what to do.
It didn't take long.
It
didn't take long at all.
Yeah. But so your parents had a sign for you, right?
Yes.
Had you graduated?
No.
No.
I was a sophomore. I was going into my junior year.
Oh, okay.
And I just needed to get away. And after training, I wound up going to Europe. And so I don't think you can get much further away.
No, and that's a nice assignment too, you know. So you enlisted, and where'd you go to basic?
I went to Fort Knox, Kentucky for basic training, and then followed immediately with the advanced individual training to become a tanker at 11 Echo 10 for the MOS. Completed that, and then I went to Germany in November of '71.
When you say tankers, those are the truck tanks?
No. M60A1.
Oh,
M60 tanks.
Okay,
yes,
yeah. So you were with the tanks?
Yes, I was with the tanks. My first 2 years, I was in a brigade headquarters company. I was a Jeep driver for the company commander, the brigade commander, and a couple of times a general would stop by, so I had to drive them around.
That sounds like a pretty good deal.
It was a wonderful deal, and 2 o'clock in the morning, somebody'd knock on my room door and they say, hey, you got to go take so-and-so to the airport. Okay, so I would get up and take somebody to the airport or go pick somebody up coming in. It was a good 2 years.
There's no way you could have said, hey, why don't you get an Uber?
No, I was Uber.
You were Uber. Yeah. Tell me about Fort Knox. Everybody hears about Fort Knox. That's where all the gold is, right?
Nope.
At
least it wasn't there in '71 when I was there.
Oh.
Because we asked that question, they said, no, it's not here anymore. And we asked, why are we guarding this big gold vault? Because we told you to. So I quit asking the whys anymore.
That's the old saying. Yours is not the reason why. Yours is but to do or
die.
Yeah. So you were at Fort Knox, and how long were you there?
Just from June to October. Long enough for my training to be taken care of, and then I had a few days and had to go to Germany in end of November. In fact, I was in Germany for Thanksgiving.
That's not a big celebration over there, though.
No, the military, we had turkey and all the stuff. And
they do that. The military tries to make sure everybody has a good holidays.
Yep, good holidays.
And of course, you have those shows, Bob Hope.
While I was there, we never had any of the USO shows.
Oh, yeah?
We heard of other places, and if we heard of it in time, guys could get tickets to go, and a few guys would go and stuff. But
well, I had the honor of seeing a Bob Hope show overseas, and it was Bob Hope. I remember all of them that were there. But anyway, so you were there at Fort Knox, and then you, what else did you do? You got married in '72. Is this like, you were out of the service in '72?
No, I was still in the Army.
Oh, you're still in?
Yeah, I was stationed in Germany, and my grandmother had passed away, and so I went home for her funeral, and at that time I proposed to the young lady that was going to school with, and we'd been dating, and then said, when are you going to get married? And I said, just as soon as we can, because I'm going back to Germany, and you can follow me.
Yeah.
So, quick wedding. She followed me a couple months later back to Germany, and then we started our life together.
Good. Got kids now?
We have 3. But, we're divorced, and I'm remarried for almost 30 years now.
Wow.
And between us we have 6. That gives us 17, and now we have 8.
Yeah, and so much for Christmas, right?
A $20 gift card, and that's only to anybody under 18.
Yeah, well, my wife hasn't bought into that yet.
Yep.
But yeah, wow, so you got quite the family.
Yep.
So you went over there, and she stayed with you while you were in Germany?
Yep, she came over there with me. That's where my son was born in '74. And we did a lot of traveling, places that I'd been to in training. And so we enjoyed it, and we were very happy when we got to go back the second time.
I got to visit Germany about a year ago. I went back. My brother. Well, I didn't go back. It's the first time I went there with my brother, because my uncle had served in the Army. He was in the Big Red One also, and he was there in Normandy. So I wanted to go back. I wanted to go to Normandy with my uncle, but unfortunately he passed. So my brother and I went, and I'll tell you, it's amazing. The buildings and everything, and it's so beautiful over there. Yeah. And you think about now how it's so beautiful now, but it wasn't back then in the 40s.
No.
So, but where did you go when you were over there visiting?
My first time, I went to a town called Erlangen. Mm-hmm. There's a big university there, so we were. Right now, I just said now. Well, the war started when I said now, and we're dead. Before I got now out, that's how close we were.
Wow.
And so you kept that in perspective to be ready all the time. But we went to me and my wife. We went to Paris, and it was during the beginning of the oil embargo in '73. And so we got there, and what did Paris do because of that? They shut off all the lights. The Eiffel Tower was dark. The Arch of Triumph was dark. The streets were dark. Every other street light was lit.
Wow.
And the garbage companies were not picking up the trash. It was a total mess. It was my recommendation, you're going to Paris, take your waders because you're going to need to get through the garbage.
Well, I'll tell you what, they cleaned it up a lot since then.
Yes, I know that.
Like I said, I was there last year, and
Yep.
by the way, the tower is beautiful with
Yeah.
lights.
Yep.
Have you ever gotten back
Nope.
to see it?
No.
Oh. Well, check out my YouTube, you'll see it.
Okay.
Okay?
Oh, I've seen it in plenty of pictures and
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, you haven't seen it till you've seen it on Central Florida Salute. But, so when you were over there, it was pretty much dark, so you didn't get to do what you wanted to do.
Nope, not that. We got to do stuff during the day, but they advised us, okay, once it starts getting dark, you better be in a group and headed back to your hotel. And so you'd have dinner, and by 7:30, you needed to be back to your hotel because it wasn't safe anymore.
Mm-hmm. So you went from Fort Knox, then you were over there in Paris. And how long were you there?
I was only in Paris for a long weekend.
Long
But
weekend.
I was
you
in-
were stationed in Germany?
I was in Germany from November of 71 until November of 74.
Oh, so you got to see a lot of Germany.
Oh,
I
yes.
think.
Yeah, oh, yes.
There's a lot of history there.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Did you ever go to Eagle's Nest?
I could see it, but it was in the wintertime, so we could not get up to
Oh,
it.
yeah. It's
And,
quite the ride
yeah,
up the hill there.
Because we went to Garmisch, which is a R&R location for military personnel, and we'd go there for a week once a year and go skiing and stuff. And the first time we went there, and the commander said, "Okay, we are going to have some training exercises that we're going to do. It's going to be mandatory. Once you've completed that, you will be basically on your own to do whatever." Well, the training exercises was to go up and ski downhill.
And
So
you were an excellent skier?
oh no, I didn't. I opted out because I had my son in a backpack, and but after about an hour, he said, "Skiing is no longer mandatory."
And you went?
Oh yeah. Because they had probably 4 guys with broken bones,
Yeah.
and these were guys that said they could ski.
Yeah. Well, they invented snowmobiles, you know.
But
Yeah.
he couldn't afford to have too many more broken bones going home.
No, yeah, that's true. You would run out of troops that way.
Yeah.
You know. So you were in Germany, and did you spend most of your time in Germany?
Yes, that first 3 years I did. I was promoted to E5 6 months. Well, in May of 74, I was promoted to E5, and that meant I could not stay where I was at. So I was transferred to a line company, to the 1st to the 35th Armor Battalion, and it literally.
You got everybody's interest now. You can't say where you're at.
What? Oh no, I was in the same place.
Oh.
I did literally. We were in this end of the building, and they were in that end of the building. 4 floors, and in the middle of the building was a plywood wall on all floors to separate the 2 companies.
Oh.
So I was transferred to this company, so all I did was went around to the front door and went in and got reassigned to that company.
Why is that? They didn't.
As an E5, there wasn't a position for me to remain in the brigade headquarters. They did not have tanks in the brigade headquarters.
Okay.
So I had to go to a line company.
Yeah, I didn't know what you said when you meant by line company.
Yeah.
You know, because I was a lineman for the power company. That's a different kind of line.
Yes, it is, yes.
You know. But, yeah. Yeah. So you were with the tanks for quite a while?
After that, I was in the tanks all the time.
You had something down here too. I saw in your bio about competing in something.
That was my second trip to Germany.
Your second trip. You went to Germany. You came back.
I came back to Fort Riley, Kansas, 1st Infantry Division. Was signed to the quarter cav, where we used the mini tanks, is what some of us called them. They were the Sheridans. They could fire a missile, and I was there for a year and a half. We just had the one squadron, and our job was to be the opposing forces anytime a regular battalion went out on maneuvers. We got to go out and ambush them and stuff like that, and we would send one platoon out per battalion so that the whole unit wasn't out there at one time. And so it was fun. You could wreak havoc on people.
Yeah. I got to ride in a tank once.
Yeah.
We did we brought in the very first Vietnam veterans traveling wall into Connecticut.
Okay.
With the wall that heals.
Yes.
And I was on the committee, and we had a guy bring a tank up from a museum.
Yeah.
And they drove it across the fields, and I got to stand on top there, like, it was kind of cool. We had a helicopter.
Yeah.
We had all kinds of stuff, but yeah, I always kind of wish that I could ride more in a tank, but
They get rough. Of course, they say now that the new ones aren't as rough riding as the old ones. They call the old tanks, the ones that I was in, they call them dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs, yeah. Yeah. You get to a certain age, they call everything dinosaurs.
Yeah. Obsolete.
Yeah.
Or extinct.
But we have a couple people here on our committee. It's the Veterans Committee here in the Eagles, and husband and wife, and their son Michael Bach, by the way, was Afghanistan. He is now on the monument that they put in Newport Richey for Iraqi and Afghanistan veterans. It's a beautiful job. Yeah. I've only seen pictures of it, but their son was in the Marines and with the tanks, and he developed a system with an Army tank that shoots out a wire mesh and hit all the road and blew up all the roadside bombs.
Oh.
Well, the Taliban didn't like that, so they put a sniper on him.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they got him. But they also got the sniper. But I've learned, and I also had other gentlemen on my show that were in the Marines, that were in with tanks. The Marines don't have tanks anymore. Did you know that?
Well, I didn't realize that they had gave theirs up, but after Desert Storm and stuff, the 3rd Armored Division was disbanded, and so was the 2nd Armored Division. Once they came back, the 3rd was in Germany. They went back to Germany, and they were disbanded there, brought the colors home, and cased them. 2nd Armored Division was at Fort Hood, and when they got there, then they disbanded them there. So now there is only one Armored Division left, and that's the 1st Armored Division at Fort Bliss, Texas.
So we learned something today, didn't we? Well, I did anyway. But okay, so you were with the tanks in Germany for a while. Was that your last assignment in Germany, or
no? That was the first, and then, like I said, I went to Fort Riley from '75 to '76, and then I went back to Germany in '76, and I went to a place called Kirchgoins, the Rock. One of the biggest military installations over there at the time. And I went to the 233 Armor, the Tiger Battalion, and served there for the next 3 years, minus a trip back to Fort Knox to go to Master Gunner School, which is it's still an elite individuals that have got their stuff together, and they know the tanks, and they know how to train their people. to get the jobs done. And so I was selected to go to that school, so I went to that, came back, and as soon as I came back and I had the credentials to say I was a master gunner, they said, "Oh, you're going to battalion to be the battalion master gunner." Okay, so we didn't have that part, but so instead of taking care of a platoon or a company, I'm taking care of a battalion, which is 3 companies of tanks. I've got to make sure they're training together.
How many would that be?
54, 56.
56 tanks?
Yep.
Wow. That's a lot of responsibility.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had to get everything drawn up and hand it out to the companies and stuff. And we were getting ready to go to gunnery. I had all this taken care of and stuff. And went into work one morning, and they said, "Oh, you're going back to Bravo Company." When? Right now. I went back to the company that I had originally been assigned to, and just to be a tank commander, because we're going to gunnery, and they need a tank commander in that position. So, since I had already accomplished all the work up at headquarters, they said, "No, now you can go here." And our company was the high company in the battalion, which also turned out to be the high company in the 3rd Armored Division at the time. And we were selected to go to what we called CAT, the Canadian Army Trophy competition. And each country in NATO would send two companies to go to this training. And it was very extensive training. And so we were there, we were competing against the other American company, and everybody was saying we were far better than them, all the other NATO countries and stuff. But the big problem was when all the competition was done, it wasn't based on competition. All the company commanders went to a big dinner. They threw their ID in this hat. You did not want your ID to pull, because when they pulled the captain's ID, "Here you go, sir. Congratulations, you get to go home."
Oh, you can't compete no more.
You can't compete anymore.
And they pulled yours.
Yep. They said we had to go home.
Well, that doesn't seem right, but
Nope.
That's the Army way.
Yep.
Yeah. So, then where'd you go with?
I went back. I finished out. That was the end of '78, and then in June of '79, I went back to Fort Riley, Kansas.
So you did how many years?
9 years.
9 years. And you got caught in a reduction, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember they had the reduction when Vietnam was winding down.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, and I know some guys when I was in the Air Force got early outs.
Yep.
I got 1 day early out. But anyway.
Well, that's what we asked for. We said, you're taking me that I'm going to get promoted. Why not ask for somebody to take my place? Nope, your name's on the list. That's the way it is.
Yeah, yeah.
I said, okay. So I got out 46 years ago this month. Well, yesterday.
Wow. What did you do when you got out, my friend?
I looked for work. I did a little farming, helping guys, and farmers would let me work for about a week and say, "Don't come back." I was not a farmer. They were digging their tractor.
You weren't a skier either.
Nope. But then I got a job in a furniture factory, and I worked for them for 30 years until they shut the factory. I worked my last...
That's up in Michigan?
Yep. I worked the last 6 years for a pharmaceutical company that makes over-the-drug medicine, and worked for them for 6 years until I could retire.
Well, I thank you for your service, sir, and I hope you're having a great retirement.
Yes, I am.
I know you're not skiing.
Nope.
You know,
Not even water ski.
you playing any golf?
Nope.
No.
Nope, I got kicked off a golf course.
Oh. Well, I guess you read newspapers or something. You know.
I stay busy.
Good. You got to stay busy. You got to stay busy. Well, I guess we're going to wrap this up unless you have something you wanted to talk about. What is that, by the way? Let's go over that, by the way.
This is what was given to me by the officers and NCOs of B Company 233 Armor, the Rock, where I was stationed the last time in Germany.
That's nice. That's nice. Well, you had a good 7 years, you say? 9 years.
9 years, just short of 9 years.
Yeah, you had a great 9 years.
Yeah.
And I thank you for your service.
Well, thank you.
But I think it's time we're going to say goodbye unless you have something you want to add.
Nope. Doing good.
All right. So we're going to look at that camera right there. You ready?
Yep.
To all our veterans out there, active military and their families, we salute you for all you do. Till next time.